don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
The trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Well, good evening. Welcome back to VP4 TV. Welcome to Hairpig and Semi-Pro. We've got 3 matches on tonight. The one that I'm going to be focusing on comes up in about just under half an hour's time. There is a match on at the moment in the VP4 9-Ball World Championships 2023. It's a match between Bankster and Jover, and it's 13 racks apiece. And we'll just drop in, catch some of this, and while we're in, we'll just tab back out because there is another match. In fact, a match that should have just started at the top of the hour, and this is a guy I want to have a look at. Where the hell is it? It should be a round 2 match, I think, because Rosin, or I don't know how we pronounce his name, is the guy that beat Popman, I think, 19 racks to 6. I think that's what it was. And I'm trying to find it somewhere in the bracket. I've probably gone past it again. That's the match from earlier on today between LS3 and Linus. LS3, well, let's just say she can certainly improve from the performance today, but as I say, I don't think she got herself under a bit of pressure. I think Linus got a lot more. He could have had a lot more racks as well if he had taken the chances he did get. In the end, he got to 14. I didn't think he'd get to 14. Yeah, the match between Rosin, I think that's what we'll say, and Grayslate, and it's already in the first or in the second rack in that match. This match that we're in at the moment, 13 racks apiece between Bankster and Jover. Well, we don't know how this is going to turn out. Used to watch the side pocket. Let's get rid of that thing in the screen. I forgot all about it. Hang on a minute. Right, so this match looks as if it could possibly go all the way. I want to jump in and have a quick look at this other match to see what sort of level this guy Rosin plays at, who is from the UK according to his flag. Grayslate from the USA. 1 rack apiece. Well, here's a chance to just chip the 2, bump the 3 and skim in behind the 6 and 5 here. Well, he's going the other way. I don't know whether he's actually got any cover there though. Well, okay, there's not much you can do, but at least he's got the cover. I think my dinner's coming back on me. Oh, the big lag there. Did you see that? That pause? Sort of stutter. That was a good shot. It's going to need a better one than that though to get back onto this 4. And that's good as well. Well, it's just a case of opening up the angle on that 5 ball. Making sure you can see enough of it to get the potting angle. And don't go down. Well, he's trying to get behind it in the bottom side. I don't know whether that was the wisest move in the world. Because he could easily have just got across. Maybe the worry was that 8 ball might have come into play. So the problem with that is it's getting good in the 6 ball, and that isn't good. Now, it's the bank in the 3 railer or 4 railer to get to the 7 ball. Again, not exactly the most controlled shot. It was a bit sort of stubbish, that shot. Just enough room though to get the 7 in, but that might hang up. And sooner or later you're going to run out of pots. Oh, you can just stun this 8 ball in, but the risk of the stun is the rattling in the jaws. Well, he's got it clean and well controlled. Yeah, I would have been much preferring to get myself an angle onto that 5 ball from the left hand side, so it could let the cue ball run. Well, that was a softish break, but it certainly worked. 3 balls in the break. The only problem is the 2 ball, and he's the wrong side of the 1. And again, trying loads of right English to get down, but I would have probably went the other way. I think the 9 ball was possibly in the way, but I would have went around the angles to try and get a hit in something. But he's got a big pocket to bank that 2 into. And maybe there wasn't enough room to get the 2 past the 4, but the 4 going in is just as good. Well, where's this cue ball going? And that's a good enough angle to go forward and just let this come over to the right. Now that needs to just slow up. The further it goes, the more the cut angle is. Welcome to Bill. Well, I'm definitely not muted here, Pig. What a numpty. So, Roisin won the first rack. Well, we never saw that, but Grace Late's got 3 in a row. The break is dry. And so Rosen is going to have to perform here to get himself back into this rapidly. And, well, maybe it was a bit straight, but he didn't pinch enough on the shot. So Grayslate is ball in hand and a problem to get onto this 5 ball. Now, if you're getting on the 5 ball on the short side, on the right hand side, then you could still have a cut in the 5 and you're pretty much guaranteed to have some sort of shot in the 6. The question is whether Grayslate wants to try and bump something here. Well, I don't know that that was the best idea. Now this is in danger of scratching if it hits that 5 ball the wrong way. And he might fluke the 6 yet. So it looks as if Rosen may well get away with this. What did I say? Did I get the names wrong? Welcome to Rabbi and Vertical Liquid. Yeah, it's BillyBigRigger against Spectredawn that's coming up. I'm only just doing a bit of time filling until that one starts, which is about 19 minutes away, provided BillyBigRigger turns up. Let's have a quick look. Excuse me. At the bracket to see how this other match is doing, because it was neck and neck. Where the hell is it in the bracket? Is it further up the bracket? Oh, there it is. It's now, well, Bankster's now stretched away with a 3-rack lead. Only 3 more needed for victory. 16-13 against Jova. Rabbi. See, I would pronounce that like Rabbi Burns. Rabbi. So Grayslate with ball in hand. Rosen getting it back to 1 rack behind. Now this just needs to roll through for the 5 into the side. I don't think there's a lot more angle on it that would prevent him from doing that. Maybe there is. Let's have a look. Yes, maybe there is. And that's taking too much of the rail too soon. And the 5 ball goes past the 8, because that's like normally where you might want to leave it. He's trying to get it into the side. Now needs to get the right side of this 6 ball. And that isn't it, but it shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to have to mute myself for a quick cough. Well, this is an up and down kick at the 6. It might go in off the 7. I don't know why he's not doing it. I'd be giving it a smack up and down. Well, this is certainly not easy. And Grayslate now, again, could put loads of left on it, but it's much easier to just let the cue ball run. You see loads of left isn't going to really get you there. You had to take the angle that was there and use it that way rather than trying to put loads of right on it. And if you're going to put loads of right on it, you need loads of pace on it as well to get that cue ball to come back out into the table. I think it was much easier to run the cue ball. Now this is the guy that beat Portman 19 racks to 6. And I'm guessing that Portman was the architect in his downfall in that match as well. Unless Rosine played out of his skin. Not having seen it, I'm only surmising from the scoreline that Portman never really got himself in it at all. So Grayslake goes back into a 2-rack lead. Long way to go in this match. I think we will we'll nip back into this Bankster match with Jover. It's now 17-13 to Bankster. Well, the table's wide open for Bankster here. We should be looking to get to the hill with this visit. Now that just needed to travel out a wee bit further, that cue ball, to make this easier to hold for the 4. It's just a wee bit short. Cue ball's tracking to the side pocket. First one of the night. And that's a bit short as well. Making his life difficult here, Jover. I mean, this will still cut, but it's a tight one. And is that going to get to the hole? It certainly isn't. It was never going to go in. This needs to bump the 8. Well, at least Jover's going to get another one back here. He might not be dead and buried yet, as long as Bankster still needs 2 racks. Now, I might be imagining things, but I think BillyBigRigger signed up for one of these big tournaments before and not shown up. I could be corrected in that, and I'm hedging my bets as to whether is he actually in the lobby yet. Let's have a quick look. See whether he's anywhere around. It always worries. Oh well, he is there. I'll give him that. He's arrived. No doubt Spectredawn will be lurking about somewhere. And you can just see the 3. So this is a good chance for Bankster to get himself to within 1. Welcome to Cobra. Now, needs that angle in the 7 ball to come out behind the 8 for the 8 into the same pocket, or at least to come up for the 8 into the opposite corner. He's got to make a decision here what way he's going. He's gone a bit straight. This is, I think he might want to go around and behind this 9 ball. Whether he's going to try and drop this in dead weight. Yes, he's going dead weight. The only worry about that is the cue ball leaking away to that top rail there, but he should be fine. But again, he's sent that one to the rail too soon, and this is what I'm saying. I mean, when you know the cue ball wants to go a certain direction, your decision is to let it go that direction and make sure it comes through. He should have went behind the 9 ball. You know, the little voice in my head tells me that. He tried to be delicate to pot the 8 into the side and hold the cue ball, but it just went to that little awkward point where, you know, you have that little doubt in your mind about reading the angle, and it caught him out. And this is what you have to do. If you know the cue ball's going a direction and it's not a great direction, then the best thing to do is to probably help it through and come through the other side. And he would have opened up the 9 ball no problem. But he's just dug a hole for himself there. And meanwhile, Jover's scratched. And Bankster is under a wee bit of pressure here to get this rack out. Now, there isn't any problem here. He's got to get right out onto the 5 ball for a start. And he must make sure he doesn't come up towards the 7 ball. He wants to come out into the table here a bit. Let's see what that looks like. Again, dead straight. And he hasn't played it. He hasn't played the shot at all. That's a nothing shot there. And that's an execution problem there. Neither here nor there in what sort of shot he was trying to attempt. Now, this could be I don't know, no, the 9's not going to go past 8, I don't think, is it? It might. Now he needs a lucky roll here. And Bankster may well get out of jail. Well, he shouldn't miss this one. It's as straight as they come. So Bankster breaking for the match. A ball in the break. And a shot in the 1. And they're all there. Now, once again, the only thing he has to be careful about is when he gets to the 7 ball. He wants to be hitting the 7 ball clean so that he's not running into the 8. And that's something he needs to be aware of. The 8 ball could end up in the short rail on the top, and he'll have no shot. Now, if he's going to leave this to roll the 6 on the side, he needs to roll the cue ball far enough so that he is coming away from the 8 ball when he plays this 7. Let's have a look. He's got to get the cue ball through to here, at least. And that'll do, because that means it's now clean, and he can just play the 8 ball into the same pocket. Just a stun to the rail and back out, not a problem. And it's going to be game, set and match to Bankster. Welcome to Spectre. We're just about 3 or 4 minutes away from the main match tonight. So well done to Bankster. Not a comfortable win, but he's there by 19 racks to 15 over Jover. Quick look, and we will see that Bankster now plays Bav in round 2. And if we go to the event, the match is on the schedule. We've got the match coming up now between BillyBigRigger from Canada and Spectredawn from the UK. That's a round 1 match. We've got Snake Eyes against Quagmire. That's set for tomorrow morning, but I'll be playing Cowboy at that time, I hope, on my day off. Tommy against Nick. Again, I always worry with these new names whether this player will show up. Tommy might end up getting a bye. Sergeresh against Mooncake. I think that must be a round 2 match. Maybe I've got that wrong. No, it isn't. It's our losers match. That's right. And then you've got Bill and Albinario on Friday night at 6:30. That's more than likely going to be my next match on the live stream on Friday night. So, well, we know that BillyBigRigger is in. He's in a room getting a bit of practice there. And if we go further down, I would expect to see Spectredawn somewhere around. He's certainly not in practicing. He doesn't need it. In fact, Spectredawn isn't in the building. Unless he's in the... Is he in the chat? Did I scroll past him in the chat? Where the hell is he? No, he's definitely not there. So Spectredawn's going for the Albinario approach. He's going to show up at the last second. And no sooner have I said that than he's there. In fact, he hasn't entered the building. He must have been there and I just couldn't see him. Yeah, because it hasn't said he's arrived in the lobby. So anyway, both players are here. Now we're just waiting on the room going up. I had a quick tab out there to check on Discord. Steve hasn't said anything to me as to whether he was going to show up tonight. He actually showed up earlier on this afternoon, but that match between LS3 and Linus started at 1 PM my time, so that was like, what time was that? That was 9, 10, 11. I can't count. What's 5 hours behind 1 PM? I can't count. My brain's suddenly gone wonky. Anyway, that was early in the morning for Steve, so he dropped in to have a look at the match at his breakfast time. The room is up. So, Spectredawn, probably we would describe as one of the best 9-ball players that hasn't won a 9-ball world championship. But he's going to have a chance in this one. And he's not necessarily going to have an easy start here if BillyBigRigger's on his game. He's certainly good enough to be taking racks given the chance. And we'll see how it unfolds. So Spectredawn is in the room. I'll have a quick drink. So Billy on the right hand side for the lag. Break box, of course, is in play throughout this tournament. And if I remember rightly, I think this is the first Canadian that's been in one of these tournaments. I'll tell you why, because I never had a Canadian flag in my pictures folder. I had to go and get one today. So Spectredawn has won the lag, 4-ball on the break, and an immediate shot in the 1. Draw back for the 2, and this rack should be over. As simple as that. Again, the only worry with this shot, when he pots the 2, is whether he's going to be interfering with the 8-ball when he plays the 3. And clearly he's going to be hitting the 8-ball, so now you don't know whether he's going to get a double kiss or whether this is going to come out good. Funny things can happen. Now, has he got away with it? I think he can just squeeze this in. Trying to spin it around the corner, but he's left it short. Well, this is a testy one early in the first rack. Now he's got a decision to make. He's going top left. Well, again, using all of the pocket. Now,
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
Would that have went in before the physics update? I don't think it would have. But it's looking very likely like a break and run for Spectredawn. Again, couple of balls in the break. Now this time, not quite as straightforward. Now he can still have a bank at this one ball. And he's trying to duck for cover. Now, I think Billy's got to go for the cross bank on this one ball. He's got to give this a blast. He's got to go for it. I don't think it's worthwhile trying to get anything safe here. He's had a go at it. Because it was very difficult to put the cue ball somewhere where it was going to be safe. But Spectredawn, as attacking as he is when we watch him in Friday Night 9 Ball, rather than going all out for the bank, he decided to play a little safety. And he's getting a reward because of it. Would have been a different story, of course, had Billy cross-banked that one ball. But it's definitely going to be 2-0. Well, what happened earlier on today with LS3 and Linus, LS3 was like 4 or 5-0 up. And I'll say the same thing. It's, you know, you don't panic when you're 4 or 5-0 down if you've hardly had a shot. What does matter is that when you do get that chance, that you take it, especially if it's a wide open table, and it's all then down to your technique, moving the cue ball, playing the right pattern. I'm expecting Billy to be playing at a higher standard than Linus was, because I think BillyBigRigger, he certainly plays 9 ball. I don't know what other stuff he plays. But this is a prime example of what he has to be doing here in this third rack. If he doesn't get out here, then it's something he's doing wrong, because they're all there. It's the usual thing. They're all wide open, and then straight away he's at a bang to try and do something crazy with the cue ball, and he's going to get away with it. And another thing is about, you know, taking what's there and not trying to be acrobatic with the cue ball. I don't believe he had to do that. And he's going to get another go at it. But this is, you know, to win the 9 Ball World Championships, or to go deep into it, you can't be waiting in 2 or 3 goes to win a rack, especially when you're playing players of the calibre of Spectredawn, because you ain't going to get those. And again, he's not going through with the shot. Well, that'll work. Well, we'll give him time to get some table time and warm up and find his pace. But definitely not picking his line. Well, good evening to Bankster. I've been laid low for the past couple of weeks. It started off as man flu. Well, actually, it started off with a dodgy throat, and then it went to man flu, full blown, and then it's a question with me as to whether I just recover from it, or whether it then goes to my chest. Well, this time it went to my chest, and that always affects me at night time when it once I get all that build up my chest at night time, I get no sleep. I just start coughing, and it's only the last couple of nights that I did get some sleep. I got a good night's sleep last night, and everything pretty much has been cleared out. Yeah, I won't go into graphic detail, but when I get up every morning, it's a clear out job. Before I get going, and that's all finished. I wouldn't say that I'm 100%, but I'm certainly a lot better than what I was 4 or 5 days ago. Well, not good signs here early on for BillyBigRigger. 3-0 down, and had good chances there to get on the board. I don't know how often Billy's around again when he's from the States, Canada. He could be on at hours where I'm in bed. I don't know whether he's regular in VP4 and gets a lot of table time. I have no clue. Billy beat Yama in the 9-ball World Championship. Maybe you're right, Bill. He certainly wasn't playing at the standard he's playing early on in this match, though. But maybe he was getting a lot more table time back then as well. But it's got to click in sooner or later for Billy. Again, when he gets a chance, he can't be panicking. You just got to play the table for what it is. But more importantly, you've got to get that cue doing the right things for you. And he's failed on a couple of occasions already. So, very comfortable start for Spectredawn, 4-0. Again, ball in the break. 2-ball, I think it is, it's gone. Wrong angle on the 1 to get to the 3. Now you could check this up a fair bit. Let's have a quick look around. Yeah, loads of left English. And just needs to get in the gap. And, well, that'll do as far as having the shot in the 3. So now it's going to be the 4-5 combo. And of course, the one thing that Spectredawn isn't short of is table time. He's probably, I think he's probably the one player in VP4 that gets the most table time at 9-ball out of all the players that play 9-ball. I don't think there's another player that has as much table time in VP4 as he does. But it does show. That's the end result of having the time in your life to be playing this game. It's a bit like real life in the respect that the more table time you get, the better touch you have. You've obviously got to have the skills and the knowledge and ability, but when you put all of them together with that table time, then you're generally going to have a decent enough touch. You're going to see the ball clear, see the pockets clear, and above all, when you get those opportunities, you're going to see your way to running racks and clearing tables, which is what it's all down to at the end of the day. But, as I've always said, you know, you can win as many Friday night 9 balls as you want. It's producing it over the length of this tournament that you have to be doing it. Because the question has been asked of you all the time, you know, if you keep winning Friday night 9 ball tournaments, that's all very well, but you want to have a big title under your name, even though it's only a game, it's only a virtual game. You want to have titles to prove that you've beaten the best in the game. But it's about staying the distance over the long haul, races to 19, and overcoming adversity. And that was hampered over the 9, and he may well have got away with that. Well, what's your options here with this shot? This could scratch straight in the corner, this cue ball, if he's hitting this really thin. Trying to cut this 5 ball in, this could go straight into the corner. Oh, that might be a lucky roll. But the cue ball hasn't rolled out nice, but this is where you just give this a good old blast off that rail and hit and hope. There's nothing else you're going to do. Well, he's going to try and jump. I'd be giving this a belt. You just got to give it a smack. You never know. But this is the type of thing that happens when you don't have... Well, there you go. You see what happens when you give it a blast? Well, I'll tell you something. He's got to stick this 9 ball away. He's got to get off the mat. And that might be the little kickstart that he needs now. He needs to follow it up by getting a good break, a ball and a shot. Try and build up a little momentum. Give himself that bit more table time. Well, he's done the first part of it. He's got a couple of balls in the break. The 4 and the 8 have gone. He's got a shot in the 1. Welcome to Hazard. Well, here's the important one. Now that's a better controlled shot. Now the only problem here is he's going to be interfering with the 7 and 6. Let's have a quick look around, see what it looks like. Well, he doesn't need to. He can dig in here and stun this in, but the 9 ball might block him off here. This could end up in a disaster because that 9 ball is interfering. He's trying to get the bump in the 9, which he has done. And now, has he got away with it? Well, the 9 ball's not set anywhere. And the 3 ball will drop into the side, but that's a delicate little touch. Well, I don't think Spectredawn played that. I think he did play for the cover. Now, if he's going from that end of the table, he could easily go in off that 3 ball. I don't think he wants to play it from there. I think he wants to go from just past the city. He might have to put a bit of left English in this. I don't know whether he can get the line. That looks good enough, looking at that. It's certainly a big enough target, the 3 ball, but again, just got to give this a blast and hope. What's he trying to do? Trying to be really cool. What a shot.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
That was excellent. Absolutely perfect. Again, he's trying to be really, really tricky here to hold the cue ball. It's one of them. Well, now he's looking good. And he may well just be finding his feet. So BillyBigRigger has 2 racks on the board. That comes up dry in rack number 8. 1 ball is tight past the 8 ball, but it does go. And again, that was well controlled. Now, is the angle there? Yes, the angle is there. He can stun into the gap between the 5 and 6. So he's trying to draw back. I don't know why he didn't play the big stun there and just come in the gap and have a shot in the 3. Well, obviously Spectredawn sees it different from me because he had enough angle to stun that hard and get the cue ball across in the gap between the 5 and 6. Well, it certainly looked like it to me. Watched a bit of the Welsh Open this afternoon. Once that match had finished between LS3 and Linus. And when I joined the match, Ronnie O'Sullivan, what the hell, I can't remember the name of the guy he was playing, but when I joined, the commentators were talking about the fact that Ronnie O'Sullivan had to have an interlude to get his tip changed. His tip fell off while he was playing in the match. It was only a race to 4. And so he had like a 10-minute break. His opponent sat in a chair while he had to take his cue through the back, and one of the referees changed the tip for him. Now that's all very well. That's obviously just preparing the ferrule, cleaning it, and then super gluing the tip on. So Ronnie O'Sullivan comes back out to continue the match. Off they go. And then the next thing you know, I don't know whether it was the same frame or the next frame, but the same bloody thing happened. The tip came off again. He had to go get the tip put on for the second time. That's the first time I've ever seen that in a match. And Ronnie O'Sullivan's been seen in the past where he's just chewed the tip off his cue because he doesn't like it. Was it the same frame? He's deliberately chewed the tip off his cue to go and get a new one on it. Don't know whether he's just worried about this 9 ball. Let's have a look at what the angle's like from his end. Well, that's the only worry about the 9 ball. He's trying to get the cue ball around the angles, open up that angle in the 7. He's fine now. Yeah, I saw he won the match at the end. Won the final frame, I think. So, rack number 8 is complete. It's a 6-2 lead for Spectredawn. And once again, 2 balls to break. Cue ball stays in the table. Now, thin cut into the side. And looks very likely that unless he stuns this in, he's going to bump the 9. Well, he had his eye on the 9 ball to start with. And he had a shot in the 2 after it, but he hasn't made the pot in the 1. But he's not left anything easy. Well, that was well played. Now there's a problem. The 4 ball blocked into both pockets, I think. No, it isn't. It does go past the 7. But it looks as if it's more than likely going to be a 4-6 combo here, unless he's trying to do, again, crazy things with the cue ball. And he looks as if he's put loads of right on this to try and come down, and he's ended up in no man's land. This is, again, where... Well, I don't know whether he's just hit that too hard, or what he was really trying to do. Was he trying to finish there, and he's hit it like a 1.5 feet too hard? Was he trying to leave the combo? We'll never know. He's got to hope that cue ball gets to the rail. Leave it as tough as possible. Now this 4 ball is going for the cut into the corner. See, to me it looks far easier to cut this and try and bump it in off the 5. That makes it a slightly bigger pocket. But again, cue ball running. Spectredawn quite happy to take the more awkward shot. Through a 3 foul rule though, and frame was lost. Who did? His opponent in the final frame. Who are we talking about? Well, obviously it wasn't Ronnie that did the 3 fouls. If there was a 3 foul in the final frame. So it's a 7-2 lead. Well, I think Spectredawn's finally had a dry break, but he's not left anything dead easy here. The bank is on in the 1 ball. Reverse bank past the 5 ball into the left side pocket. Now, the only problem is he's absolutely bolt straight. He can pinch a wee bit here, I think. Only slightly. Yeah, just managed to get that little angle. Well, it's imperative that BillyBigRigger sees this rack out. Straight away here, he's got to make the decision, get this cue ball out and avoid the bump in the 5, and that was well done. Now this needs to spin around, and it has done. And same again, down the bottom half of the table here for the 7 ball into the side. He shouldn't be doing anything else, I don't think. I mean, it doesn't go past the 8, so he's got to come down and say, now he's overhit that. Well, we'll give him this. I'm going to be back in a second. I'm just going to turn the heating off. I'm beginning to stew in here. I'm back. So we're into rack number 11. Spectredawn with a 7-3 lead. Again, loads of right English on that. Well, this is going to have to be another good shot here to get inside that 6 ball. And it is good. Well, again, the simple shot is just roll through, 7 ball into the left side and you're on the 8, no problem. So it's already shaping up to be a tough ask here for BillyBigRigger. But Spectredawn, for the most part, his break's been working pretty well, getting 1 and 2 balls in the break. I think he's had 1 dry break that I can remember. And no sooner have I said that than he scratches. The 7 ball did go in the side, but once again, BillyBigRigger with ball in hand has a table where he has the first objective is just to drop through onto the 2. Now, again, he hasn't dropped through far enough. He should have been here. That way, you're simple getting onto the 3. Now there's a problem. Now, can he get through the gap between the 3 and the 8 and come back up? Yes, he can. And he needs to watch he doesn't hook himself behind the 5 though. And that'll do it. But these opportunities are so vital to try and stay in the match. He's got to be sending the message to Spectredawn that if he is given that chance, he's taking them. And he's not throwing them away and wasting them. Now this shot here, he must have the angle in the 6 ball. He's got to get that cue ball out. Or at least get it going back up top for the 8. Well, he's got the angle. Now this can stun across to the right side. It just needs to hold up. Let's have a look at the angle. Well, that's fine. This is just dropping in and falling onto the rail for the 9. Well, he's digging in, but there's no need to. I mean, you just could have let that roll plain ball. He was always going to get there. But of course now, having won this rack, Billy's needing a ball and a shot. He needs to get something just to get a bit of momentum. He needs to follow it up. But he ain't getting it. And the only thing he's got to be thankful for is he hasn't left anything easy for Spectredawn. Well, I say it isn't easy, but he's eyeing up the cut in the 1 ball into the top right hand corner. And in it goes. Well, if there's a problem, it's the 5 ball just where it is next to that 7. It's the only other thing that I could see being any sort of issue. I mean, cutting the 2 into the side, he could take this long past the 6 ball, try and stay on the 3 ball, and it squeezes past the 9, no problem. So now he's got a choice to make here. Does he just dink the 4 ball up the table and drop onto the 5 past the 7 into the top left hand corner? Or is he just trying to go through the other side of the 5? No, he is just dropping it into a line. And he'll be fine now. $13-12 to Rosen. That might be going all the way as well. Now there's loads of room to let this cue ball come around the corner and out here. He's maybe checking it up. Yes, he's checking it up. Loads of right English in the cue ball, straightening it off that bottom rail. And the lead now goes back to 5. Saw this in one of the racks earlier today where the 9 ball did not move an inch and neither did the ball next to it, and that's exactly the same again there. Couple of balls in the break though, 1 ball in the 7 ball has gone. But again, Spectredawn's idea of a safety shot, that is way below the standard needed, and in fact he's ended up not getting to a rail after hitting that object ball. So does Billy realise he's got ball in hand here? I don't think it's going to matter because the 3 ball isn't going anywhere. Well, Stubb has just, well, he's been in the room and he's just typed Universal Missile Silo, Lord is next, K. And Spectredawn has said, Poland, please, ask them to shut up. Well, it's going to be double figures for Spectredawn. Oh, that kiss on the cue ball there with the 3's just pushed the 1, but the cue ball dead. He would have had a shot in the 1 there. Let's have a look and see where the safety is here. That ain't it. This will be a dead weight drop into the side. And probably getting up to the top half of the table to take the 3 into the left side here, I would think. And this is why your safety has to be good as well. And Billy's now going to get a lesson in what happens when you don't get it safe. Oh, good evening to Tam. Well, this is the one that could cause a problem. Got to watch the side pocket here on the right hand side. If he's going to dig into this cue ball, that is, because that's always the danger. Coming across the table off the 6 and going into that right side pocket past the 9 ball there. He doesn't look as if he's doing that though. He's perfectly happy to leave the long distance cut in the 7. Now the only thing that will go wrong with this is finishing on top of the 8 ball. He's got to go left or right side. And that's what happens when you leave things at distance. Now Billy is going to have to put right English on this, use the rail and the 7 ball and get around onto the bottom left hand side of this 8 ball. That's a shot. He's digging in here, playing the big draw. The danger with that is it's heading into this corner pocket. He's got away with it. And of course, the danger with the shot I was talking about was scratching in the bottom left hand corner pocket, but that's a shot I would have played much rather than a big draw, because you never know where you're going to end up. But anyway, got to sink this down the rail. Oh, well, again, that was going to the rail way too soon. That must have been hitting that middle diamond there on that rail. Well, anyway, BillyBigRigger gets his 5th rack on the board, but he's come up dry again, and that's no good. Going to have to try something different with the break. Now this has the potential to end up ugly here for Spectredawn, because the angle that he's putting the 2 ball at, the cue ball wants to go up towards the 3 off the long rail on the right hand side. And the problem with that is that if he misses the back end of the 3 ball, he can come around and hook himself behind the 7 and the 4. And in thinking about that, he's played the right shot to avoid all of that, but he's missed the 2. And the 6 ball's now a blocker. And there is no way that Billy can get to that 2 ball. Can he catch the knuckle with a bit of left spin and just chip it? No, he can't. It's too deep in the pocket. And Spectredawn's got away with that one. Well, he's got ball in hand, but he's using the angle that's there just to drop down, and that'll work. It'll work from the point of view that he can play the combo onto the 8 now. He needs to make sure. See, the problem with this shot is you don't want the 3 ball to follow the 8 ball in. You want it to stay in the table, and so he's got to be wary of that. And now he's got himself in trouble. No problem in hitting the 3 ball, I don't think. Well, maybe there was. So an unexpected ball in hand opportunity here for BillyBigRigger to pinch another rack back. I would suggest that this is vital that he does take this out, because you've got to be seen to be punishing your opponent when they get themselves out of line, and it sends the right message to Spectredawn that you're going to deal with these situations. Well, the angle looks like going to the rail and back out for the 5 into the same pocket. And again, for some reason, Billy decides some sort of acrobatics was needed with the cue ball by banging at it. And he has got away with it. And Spectredawn, once again, has come up short, I think, with a safety. No, he hasn't. He's just got there. Oh, there's another little jabby sort of lag there in that shot. Well, that's got too much on it. That cue ball, you can see that straight away there. That plus the spin he had on it has sent him into bedhead territory here. And that needs to have the legs. Got to watch this side pocket here if he's letting this cue ball bounce across the table and back across for the 9. Now, he's giving it a look. Yeah. Well, he avoided the scratch, but he left himself too square on that 7 ball and the chance is gone. And instances like that are painful. You know, you're trying to get yourself back into the match and you're throwing away opportunities. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities, but when you're getting them and you're not taking them, it's even more painful. So it's a 6-rack lead. One ball thought about dropping into the side. Well, it hasn't. So once again, the break is dry. The 3 ball goes past the 7. Now, all of this is about how you move the cue ball, because this is a table that can be taken out, and the immediate problem is straight away here from the 2 to the 3. You've got to get the cue ball into a spot. He's going down the shorter side. He needs a bump in the 6. He needs to bump it, and he's locked himself up. And immediately he knows that if he doesn't get a hit and get lucky here, this is another rack that's going south. Well, I suppose it could have finished worse than that. I mean, this is going to have Spectredawn working here. It cuts into the side. Yeah, it just left it awkward. So again, Billy's going down the 2 chances to win a rack routine here, and it's not the best way to have to do things. He needed a lucky roll there. He needed to leave it awkward for Spectredawn, but Billy immediately has put himself in trouble again. All the room in the world to go on that 4 ball. You had to take the 5 ball out of the equation. And again, it's an old blast and a hole, and he's fluked the 9. There you go. That's the one way to deal with a problem.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
That's how you get yourself out of trouble. But he can't get a ball in the break, I don't think. Has he? Did anything go there? Nope. So he's back to within 5. Quick look at the bracket. See how that other match is doing. That was I've totally forgotten who's playing again. Was it Rosin? Well, Rosin is leading by 17 racks to 14, so you would think that match is over against Grey Slate. Meanwhile, Spectredawn at the table on the 3 ball. Now again, if you're just going to let the cue ball do its thing, you might be skimming off that 6 ball. He's avoided the 6. It needs to keep going. That looks a good shot. The spin's getting it around the angles nicely onto the 4. That was perfect. Well, Shibo did well, because he normally makes far too many mistakes at the end of the day. But maybe not having seen the match was well, look at that from Spectredawn.
Let's watch a replay of that last shot.
How about that? Give it 2 goes to get the 5 ball into the hole. Maybe the 2 of them were struggling with the break, because of course that was really the first time that the 2 of them had been dealing with the break box. Well, BillyBigRigger doesn't need Spectredawn to be getting a roll of the ball, but he certainly got it there. And of course, the other thing, we'll just see this 8 ball going in. The other thing to bear in mind is, provided 8 ball does go in, and it does, is that looking at the bracket, I think I mentioned this earlier today, we've got this match, of course, and it looks at the moment that Spectredawn may well see this through. He knows who he's going to be playing in round 2. Stubb has had a bye, and Stubb will be his opponent. So, you know, if you're going to win virtual 9-ball world championships, you're going to come up against problems. Usually, the deeper you go into the tournament, so the big test, provided that Spectredawn can get through here, is going to be against Stubb. And that's going to be worth watching. But, you know, BillyBigRigger's not down and out yet, but every time he gets a chance, provided the balls are there, he has to see it all through. He can't afford any mistakes now. The match is running away from him at the moment, a 6-rack deficit. But he needs a bit of help from the break, though. He needs to be getting balls and shots and being able to run out. And he's not really had that opportunity. What, that match between Shibo and Bedhead? So the lead now goes to 7 racks. Now, from the good start that Spectredawn had with the break, getting 1 and 2 balls, he's now hit a dry spell here. But this again is a perfect table as far as there is no obstructions. All the balls have got pockets one way or another. The only problem is that 4 ball right on the diamond on the top rail. And I think it's quite tight to the top rail as well. Well, it's not on the rail, but it's tight enough. That just needs to slow up. Now, once again, he doesn't want the 4 ball to go in. That's unless he's bouncing this off the bottom rail and coming back up high enough. You see, he's taking his eye completely off the ball. Now, that 4 ball was 3 millimetres off the rail. He should never have not been hitting the 6 ball with that 4 ball. He's taken his eye completely off it. I think maybe worrying that the 4 ball might be going in, so he had to make sure he was high enough up the table to have the shot in the 5, and he's completely forgotten about actually putting the ball into the hole. So that's another table that was not difficult, but Billy's failed, and his fate is pretty much sealed now. I would say it would need to be a dramatic turn for him to get out of this hole. But he's just dug the hole a bit deeper with that attempted run out there. So Spectredawn marches on, and looking more and more likely, almost a guaranteed certainty, he's going to be meeting up with Stubb in round 2. This time, 3 balls in the break. He's going to land right on top of the 1. It's going to be a 3-7 combo to follow it though. Well, even if he doesn't get this to the hole, that 9 ball still makes it a big pocket. He's got it clean. That other match, I don't think is finished yet. Let's have a quick look. It's 17-16. It ain't over yet, that match. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's dive into that match to see how things are going. Because Grey Slate's at the table here. On the 7 ball, and all the room in the world to get on the 8. Well, is that commentator's curse? I mean, Larry's a witness to that. As soon as I join the room, disaster happens, and that might have just sealed Grey Slate's fate there, because there was not any problem in the table, but the old 9ball.com curse has caught him out. So Rosen on the hill, and the 3 ball has gone. He's got a shot in the 1. Now, if he hits anything up the top of the table here, he's going to have no shot. And that used all of the pocket. And he's still not got much of a shot. It's a big thin cut down the rail, bottom right corner. Notice trying to duck for cover. But that isn't good enough. Now, Grey Slate, I don't want to jinx you, but you've got your chance to stay alive. That needs to just slow up a bit here. Now, you've got to get into the gap between the 6 and 7, or at least bump one of them out of the way to get on that 5, unless you just want to come out into the table and leave the longer 5 ball. And that's what he's doing. Now, once again, this looks simple, but you've got to come back far enough for this 7 ball so that you're taking into the side, and the cue ball's heading towards the 8 ball. It's going up the table. You don't want to be leaving it short. Let's have a look. That's perfect. That will do nicely. That's exactly what you want. You want to have as shallow an angle as you can as well, so you can just dink the 8 ball along the rail. That's fine. You'll get away with that, no problem. And, well, there's no way, again, you should be missing this. This, you take one look at it, you see the pot and you play it. You don't mess around for 10 minutes lining up the shot. Now he needs the ball in the shot. Back to within 1. Trying to take the match all the way. Tried to scratch. Has come up dry. And not an easy starter for Rosen. Now this has to come off the bottom rail and back up. Nothing in the left hand side to cause an obstruction. The pace is good. And the angle is good as well off the 3 ball. The big test is how he gets onto the 5. It's got to be the short side of the 5. And he's got the angle to do that as well. And now he needs to miss the knuckle of the side pocket here. That's the only way it could end up going funny. And he's trying to get there. Only problem now is the cut's a bit dodgy. And there's no way he's holding for the 6 ball. So he's having to let it run. He's run into traffic. And now he's in a hole. And unless he gets really lucky with a hit, Gracely may well be coming to the table with a chance. And he will do with ball in hand. Loads of pressure on him though to take this to the final rack. Now again, you need to go high enough up the table. Are you going to leave it long in the 7 or are you going to... Well, he's gone sort of neither here nor there. Quick cough. That was my only other concern, that my voice is going to hold out. Where's the cue ball going? Well, this is what you don't want. Stuck to the rail, pretty much straight in the 8 ball, and you're going to leave yourself an awkward long 9. Well, this to go all the way, and it isn't a gimme. But in it goes, and we are going all the way. One ball in the side. Now the 2 ball's gone as well. I think the 1 and 2 have gone. The 3 ball is a cut down the rail. The 4 ball is wide open, and the 5 ball is stone dead. That's the ugliest place you want the 5 ball to be sitting. Now, if he'd gone far enough out into the table, he could have maybe tried to draw off the 4 and get into the 5, but he can't do that. Well, good luck with this shot, because I'll tell you something, this isn't easy. It's not quite frozen, but that'll easily catch the point of the pocket. And he's still got the 6 ball to follow. And that's the problem. That's the problem with those stuck right next to the pocket. And somehow that jaw just jumps out and grabs the edge of the 5 ball. But it isn't over yet. Roshin's run into the 8 ball. And now we're going to get a bit of tippy tapping here. Well, somebody's got to be brave and try and use that 7 ball. Just try and skim away from the 6 ball and get a wee bit of cover here. But who's going to be brave enough to do it? And I think Rosin has decided to have a go, but he hasn't got there. Well, this has got to be running with top in the cue ball, get down off that bottom rail, come back down the right hand side somewhere past the 8 ball. He needs to have the legs, so that's not got the legs. That ain't got the legs, I don't think. Oh dear. Well, it needs to do that. If you're going to miss it, you need to overcut it, send it along that bottom rail. Well, there's not many players would refuse to go at this 7 ball. It's not easy. But again, the roll has worked out nice. And now Gracelate's in trouble here. Because this is tough to hit it in such a way that you can control that cue ball. He might just roll dead onto the 7, but then he's leaving a chance maybe to kick the 7 in. Oh, he's gone all out for the bank. He who dares wins. But now he's in no man's land. Well, I think you've got to dig into the cue ball here to make sure you're taking any side pocket out of the equation. Well, he's avoided that, but he's avoided that and overcut it. And he's sold out in the end. Again, you've got to play the right shot. You've got to play the controlled shot. That was more a sort of half-hearted attempt at the shot. And so Rosin wins the final rack. A 1918 win takes him through to round 3. And where the hell is it in the bracket? Is it above or below? There we are. Now he will well, he's got a long way. He can have a week or more off because we've still got Mr. Fox and Interchange X to play if that match ever goes ahead. And then the winner of that will play Cobra. And the winner of that will go through to play Rosin. So he's got plenty of time on hand. Meanwhile, Spectredawn is on the hill. No, he isn't. He's in 17. Well, he is on the hill now. Leads by 18 racks to 17. I'll say that again. 18 racks to 7. And Spectredawn comes up dry again. Well, the 2 ball goes past the 4. The 3 balls over the side. The 4 ball into the bottom corner. And the 4 ball is good for getting onto the 5. So he should be out here. And he's left himself dead straight in the 4. I think he's going to have to pinch a bit of this to get down below the 5. Where's he going with the cue ball, I wonder? See if he'd... Well, see, that's it. It's ended up dead straight. He's fine, though. Now, once again, where do you go with the cue ball? You have to get the cue ball far enough through so that you can go the 3 rails or come back and avoid the 9 ball. Now, I still would be going 3 rails easily here. There's loads of room. Again, putting that English on and not accounting for the squirt of the cue ball. He's hung the 6 And look at where the cue balls finished anyway, so he never ever got there. So this match is over. Unless Spectredawn has fallen asleep. I think Spectredawn was thinking that this rack was over and he's maybe nipped out for a second. I think that's what he was thinking. So in the end, it's a comfortable win for Spectredawn, but the challenge immediately ramps up because he's now going through to face Stubb. And the interesting thing, of course, is you've got two solid players at 9-ball, one way or another, but you've got two players who have yet to win a virtual 9-ball World Championship in VP4. So well done to Spectredawn, but the challenge immediately ramps up for him and he's going to be put to the test against Stubb in the next round. So that completes the matches for today, and we'll see that update in a little second or two, or at least it should do it, and just get confirmation. And I think we've still got another outstanding match there below, which is the match between Chico and Ice Age. What's the deadline in these? March the 1st. And this is the 14th, so there's still loads of time. Oh no, tell a lie, I'm forgetting round 1. So it's another, 5 days that they've got to get the match arranged. That's right. So you've got Chico against Ice Age. They've still to arrange their match. The bottom half of the draw is almost complete. Apart from that, you've got that other match with who is it, Mr. Fox and Interchange X. I think all the others are buys apart from that, aren't they? Yeah, so there's really just the one match to get played. What happened to Spud Boy? Did he not show up? I noticed he's a forfeit. Anyway, that's for another day. Quick check on the bracket. The next match is tomorrow morning between Snake Eyes and Quagmire. Then there is a match on Friday at 7 PM between Tommy and Nick. I'm hedging my bets as to whether that will go ahead. You've then got Sergeresh and Mooncake on Sunday at 7 PM on the one loss side. And then finally on Friday, Friday, it's not this Friday, I misread that earlier on. I've just realised it's next Friday, the match between Bill and Albinario. I've just realised the date there. So that's more than a week away for that match. But I should be there for it. So, that is it for tonight, folks. Well done to Spectredawn. He knows he's going to have bigger challenges ahead. That's immediately going to happen. Good luck to him. Good luck to BillyBigRigger on the one loss side. And with that, thanks all for watching, chaps, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's still there. I will bid you good night. I'm off for a coffee and catch a wee bit more of the snooker if there's any left of it. And I'll see you again soon. See you later.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Good night, ladies.